Good afternoon, guys. This is group 5, and my name is Mari, and then we have Jessica and Megan, and we did our project night shift sleep deprivation. Okay, so our PICAT question is patient, nurses who work the night shift, intervention, sleep deprivation, comparison, job performance, outcome, improved job performance, time 3 months.
Wait, that was the wrong slide, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Were you seeing that one? I was seeing the other slide.
Okay.
Did you read that first? Are you looking at it on the
That
Zoom
question?
or are you looking at it on your computer?
I did the pickup question. Did I not do the pickup question?
I don't think so.
I didn't hear
That
you
threw
do the
me off,
pickup. I
too.
thought you started reading right away the other one.
Okay, let's start over again,
Okay,
guys.
sorry.
Sorry. Okay, just let me know when.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. We are group 5. My name is Mari, and we have Jessica and Megan, and we did ours a night shift sleep deprivation. Okay, so our PICA question. Nurses who work the night shift, what is the effect of sleep deprivation on job performance? PICA framework is patient, nurses who work the night shift, intervention, sleep deprivation, comparison, job performance, outcome, improved job performance, and time 3 months.
So for the methodology, first we were thinking about conducting a survey. So for the survey, we would conducted a survey between the day shift and the night shift nurses on the same units to determine who is chronically sleep deprived and who feels that they receive adequate amounts of rest. From this initial survey, we're going to split everyone into groups. So first we'll have a control group, and this is going to be well-rested nurses from both the day shift and the night shift. Then we'll split up between the night shift nurses who are sleep deprived and then the day shift nurses who are sleep deprived. After we create our 3 groups, we're going to conduct a survey. For this survey, we're going to be surveying the day shift nurses and the night shift nurses who are sleep deprived about their overall morale, their quality of sleep, their energy levels, physiological function, mood, overall well-being, and their thoughts on sleep deprivation. After we do this survey, we're going to be providing each of the groups with relaxation techniques to help their mood, mental health, coping, stress, and their overall health and wellness. After we provide them with these evidence-based skills, we're going to reassess our findings from survey number 3. We're going to give them the same survey again, and we're going to analyze how the sleep deprived nurses might have improved their levels of sleep and therefore their levels of performance.
So we went with the qualitative design. Our design would be qualitative because it will rely on personal accounts from our nurses and how they respond to working the night shift. So under outcome, we have nurses who changed to the day shift saw improvements in their overall well-being. The nurses who were able to apply this evidence-based self-care skills to their life as a night shift nurse also saw improvements in their life. And under analysis, we had nurses who are sleep deprived performed poorly compared to nurses who are fully rested. Sleep deprivation has a dramatic negative effect on many aspects of a nurse's personal life, their work life, and the individual life. So as you can see, it doesn't only affect them while they're at work, it also affects their lives on a daily basis.
Okay, sleep deprivation and night shift. So sleep deprivation is a common problem among nurses who work the night shift. Studies have found that nurses who work the night shift are more likely to experience sleep deprivation than nurses who work during the day. Okay. Why are nurses sleep deprived during the night shift? Usually longer hours. Nurses may be awake for longer during the day when trying to reset their sleep schedule. Nurses might consume more time during the day practicing self-care rather than sleeping, such as running errands. Many nurses are responsible for caregiving duties at night, so they think not sleeping and they don't get well rest because they have to take the kids to school or have to go to doctor's appointments, etc. Um, Also, insomnia. Nurses often struggle to manage their internal clock. Nurses might need to stay awake during the day to take full advantage of their day off. And that's when they start getting problems with the sleep wake cycle as they getting short on hours of sleep.
So problems with nurses on night shifts. Also, your research shows that sleep deprivation severely impacts the health of the nursing professional and the type of care they provide to their patient. Nurse night shifting affects job performance and the quality of care due to increased errors and accidents resulting from fatigue, among other consequences. So I guess it's important to point out that it doesn't only affect the nighttime nurses, it also affects the patients and the care they're getting. Sleep deprivation due to night shift have harmful effects such as degradation of sleep patterns or insomnia, which further impact individual welfare and cognitive functioning that increases chances of errors and workplace accidents. So some other things to keep in mind is that sleep deprivation also causes health complications. Studies have shown that night shift work is linked to heart disease, obesity, diabetes, mood disorders, and substance abuse. Also with your job, night shifts can cause lower job satisfaction, lower tolerance for job workloads, cognitive changes such as difficulty concentrating, reduced mental alertness and forgetfulness, and impaired perceptual and motor abilities. And of course, the main one being sleep disruption. Night shifts have known to cause negative alterations in sleep patterns such as fatigue, sleep deprivation, poor sleep hygiene, poor sleep quality, and the circadian rhythm interruptions.
So for selecting credible sources for our literature review, we would first have to evaluate the source carefully. So with this, we'd have to take into account the reliability and legitimacy of the source and consider the source's level of objectivity and bias when determining credibility. After this, we would have to review the publication. References, citations, or footnotes backing up an assertion make the source more reliable. Additionally, statistical data, facts, and supporting evidence or citations is expected to be provided by a reliable source in order to prove their credibility. And lastly, to see if a source is credible, we'd have to check their validity. So we'd have to check how recent the data is, and more specifically, a publication's timeline should always include a date of when the data became available to the public. And this is to help verify whether or not the source's information is current or has become obsolete over time. So next we have effects on night shift nurses, our literature review. First, we have night shift workers, particularly female practitioners, had a lower job satisfaction and higher strain levels and were less productive than their counterparts working during the day. Another study showed that nurses working night shifts had poor psychomotor performance, indicating an increased risk for injuries and accidents for both themselves and their patients and coworkers. Additionally, another study showed that poor sleep quality exacerbates the adverse effects of night shift work on non-neurobehavioral functions, such as vigilance and cognitive performance. And our last study showed that night shift workers are more likely to experience sleep problems such as insomnia, restless leg syndrome, and depression as a result of these night shifts.
So we also added an augmentation to ours. So by incorporating our study in the form of a survey, We'll be able to determine which shifts feel the most impacted by their schedule and why. We will also be able to determine what factors may help improve their current situations, whether they're the day shift or the night shift. We also added the PICOT analysis. So while our study focused primarily on job performance, it's also important to realize it also has significant impact on your personal life. Night shift nurses often find themselves missing out on events that happen during the day. When they're actually able to attend family or personal events, their energy is more likely to be a lot lower than the people around them.
And lastly, how can we improve night shifts? And this is based on evidence-based practice. First, a key thing to think about is that by giving nurses access to credible evidence-based practice resources, including information on how to improve sleep quality, strategies for coping with sleep deprivation, or even tips on mitigating workplace hazards, it's known to have night shifts be a better environment and a safer environment. Next, nurses should have access to support groups and resources that offer practical advice on managing stress and fatigue. Third, nurses should be trained to identify and address the cognitive and psychosocial effects that night shifts can create and how to eliminate the negative aspects of each. By understanding how this is all happening and why this is all happening, nurses might be more inclined to make these positive changes for themselves if they work the night shifts. And lastly, proper training can help nurses understand the impact of sleep deprivation on their performance and help them to cope with the stress of night shift work. So these will be our resources, our references, I'm sorry. And that would conclude our presentation. Thank you all very much for listening and have a great day.